Both players playing in Chinese here, so nobody flexing the language. Fortunate. Love to see some players running in their native languages personally, but I mean, the time save is good, I suppose. You know, you want to win the race, I get it. Makes sense. Suddenly the tables have turned. BusterDoggy absolutely dominating the predictions here. Where are the speed supporters? If you don't throw the points in the ring, you might as well throw some copy passes in the chat. We've seen probably, I think, a grand total of like 2 copy passes in the chat today, and I think they were totally unrelated from the racers, so the chat room cheer is kind of weak today, not gonna lie. I don't know where you guys are at. Both of our racers here heading off into Cap Kingdom, ready to rock. This is their time to shine for the week. Of course, this tournament is running weekly, so we have the same 12 participants playing each week here. This is the absolute upper echelon of competitive SMO. So we've got all the racers playing every single week, 12 weeks in a row. It's a bit of an endurance test, honestly. Like, a lot of players, you know, they come into SMO, they might grind it for like a month and then disappear for 6, but you know, kind of the same for any speed game, but here in a league format, you know, you kind of have to be on the ball all the time. You're going to be playing consistently. You know, if you start taking breaks like a month into the league, it can really hurt your standings later on, but both players here going for left side, nailing it. No major struggles to speak of. Druckle, I'm sure that your Ocarina of Time experience would be very, very helpful in the comm booth, I must say. I gotta say. But both players here pretty much synced heading out of Cap Kingdom. Not too surprising. Definitely good to see, though. Off we go into Cascade Kingdom. Quite a bit of variation possible here, especially at higher levels. DSS and Chess Clip both coming into play pretty frequently. What these players opt to do. Of course, we don't have any too crazy of antics. We don't have any first moon skip kind of things going on in 1.3. Just straight up gameplay. DSS kind of crazy though, not gonna lie. If either runner goes for DSS, I'll be surprised. We've seen it quite a bit in the tournament, but hasn't really paid off for anybody. I think I've seen one race so far where DSS could be considered worth it. Buster actually getting a little bit tripped up there, so an insane lead for speed here, about 17 frames. I just counted them with my brain. Absolutely nuts. This is actually kind of crazy. Perfectly synced here into the dino skip, into the cutscene. Speed just barely ahead once again. BusterDoggy catching up on the dino. Speed just slightly ahead here. BusterDoggy opting to open up a rock here for an extra heart, just in case. A nice little strat here, I suppose. I mean, I think it's just mostly for fun, but... Speed actually widening that gap a little bit in the Mount and Bruto fight, so kind of impressive. Get ready to round out Cascade. I think we'll see both players go for top the cliff here. I don't think we'll see any chest clippers, but every time I say that, I get absolutely fooled by the racers. So we'll see if they opt to actually stick by my word here. Yeah, absolutely insane lead from Speed. Very well pointed out in the chat. I think this is actually insurmountable for Buster here. I mean, Speed would have to make such a big mistake at this point. I mean, it's hard to see BusterDoggy coming back from this one, as we are pretty much completely synced up here, heading into the the last moon. Cascade, both of them skipping over chest clip, as expected. Getting set off here to power up the Odyssey and move on to the Sand Kingdom. And I haven't complained about this for a while now, but I really miss watching the cutscenes in this game. So many people play this game every day, nobody sees the amazing cutscenes. Is there an all cutscenes? I don't think there is. There needs to be an all cutscenes category. I know there's one in Jack and Daxter, which is pretty epic. Also call it lore percent. Jack speedruns are very epic. Can't say I'm a massive fan of 2 or 3, but 1 at least are fantastic. One thing that we haven't touched on quite yet either is that Speed has actually updated his profile picture from the open tournament. Is no longer bonking on Snowdram, is now getting Snowdram, which is quite powerful. It's a powerful statement. Really says a lot. It's BusterDoggy opting to go ahead and do the town in reverse. Speed going ahead and doing the standard route here in Sand Kingdom. Small little optimizations from BusterDoggy, but that's what gets you a 58, is small little optimizations. Players there grabbing the Nut Moon, not having any issues. I suppose a Seed Moon. Get some Nut Moons later on in Wooded, but makes the bird quite a bit more difficult when you do this backwards. Managing to grab it though. No issue. Speed, of course, able to roll right on past, has already collected that bird. Well, you can see with that, BusterDoggy has pulled ahead a little bit. There was a little bit of bonkage from both sides, so you know, hard to directly compare the routes just from this alone, but it's a nice little side-by-side comparison at the very least. Up here to Sandram, we'll see if both players are able to nab it. Looking good so far. Both players gonna grab it. Both players 100% consistent so far in the league with that trick. Not a huge deal. Just noticed that it's actually just referred to as Dram in the stat sheet. That is a dangerous designation. I'm not sure if Buster plays on Joy-Con. I don't think so. Speed taking a death on reverse Jaxie. This is not something you see all the time. Very unorthodox death here for Speed at the beginning of Sand King, or rather midway through, having to spawn all the way back at the shop. This is not good for the Speed supporters in the chat. We're getting bingoed. Oh my goodness. A little bit scary. I could just be you, Dansta. I would usually take the blame on it, except for yesterday I blamed RTA Dan for the sound being out of sync, and then turned out it was just my Twitch player. So try refreshing. Yeah, if it doesn't fix, let me know, and I'll see what I can do. Welcome in everybody from the bingo tournament. Very epic, very cool. Hope bingo went well. If you are not familiar with the channel, here on the Cool Cat Gang, we've got a variety of speedrunning content, showcases, and races. Mostly just races recently. A lot of tournament play. We've got the Any % League going on in Super Mario Odyssey, and the 16-star Open in 16 stars. So if you don't already, definitely drop a follow. We're actually 7 follows away from 1.7k, which is kind of crazy considering it feels like just yesterday. Got 1.6. 2K is on the horizon. CCG chart with upwards trend. Getting big. Both players wrapping up Sand Kingdom here. Heading off to Lake. We'll see how Lake goes. Lake has been pretty, you know, I mean, it's really easy to underestimate, but we've seen some players have some issues, right? Don't want to bring up anybody specific, but, you know, we saw somebody yesterday struggling with the triple jump at the beginning to make it over the wall. So, yeah, a little bit of interesting things can happen in Lake. We've seen players get bathtub. All variety of lake clip mishaps. See Buster already with a pretty sizable lead here. Basically all thanks to that one Jaxie skip death. Oh, but a missed late clip here from BusterDoggy. Getting a bit of fake clip action here. Struggling a bit on the rebound. Can't quite find this out of bounds. Oh, this is actually huge for Speed here, as a lot of time able to be made up here if a good late clip comes out for Speed, but Speed missing the zipper here. Gonna have to go for a little bit of up throw action. Does succeed. Chatters being a bit cringe in the chat room. Very questionable. Ooh, and a very fast clip here from Speed. Doesn't get faked out like BusterDoggy did. Unlucky for BusterDoggy, but definitely lucky here for Speed, who had a bit of an issue in Sand Kingdom. Now making up a bit of that time here in Lake. Just one more moon for BusterDoggy here, as Speed has a couple to grab. Gotta grab the one on Dory's back and the pillar moon, but these moons are quick. So a couple moon lead here for Buster, but it's not nearly as big as it was entering Lake. Nice to see a little bit of back and forth. Especially in a game like SMO where, you know, things are very movement based. There's not a lot of like heavy trick issues, right? There's nothing like where you can just miss a trick, you lose like, you know, 2 minutes because you got completely stumped by it. At least it doesn't happen too often, but good to see a little bit of back and forth. Nobody looking bulletproof here. He just wrapping up the last moon in Lake Kingdom. Bit of cutscenes behind at this point. Thing that we kind of neglect to mention here on Cool Cat Gang is the absolutely cracked prize pools we have for our tournaments right now. So, you know, this is a long tournament. It's about, you know, 12 weeks or so, plus a little bit of playoffs. So lots of SMO action going on, but at the end of it, there is a $1,000 prize pool getting distributed. So kind of insane, kind of crazy for Mario tournament to have a $1,000 prize pool, but you know, Cool Cat Gang hooking it up, Urban Arts helping us out with it. Well, I'm glad you're not a simp. I'm glad you're not a simp. Very, very good stuff. Oh wait, that word's banned on Twitch, right? I don't know. I can't remember. All I remember is going into, I think it was ESA's chat. It was either ESA or GDQ. Somewhere they were running a rerun. It must have been ESA, because I don't think GDQ runs reruns, but they were running a rerun of a Simply VOD. And I just went in and I spammed like, let's go big simp, and I got banned. And I was like, okay, well, alright, bye. I guess I'm out. Can't cheer for Simply anymore. But BusterDoggy here heading on over to Nutclip. It looks like Speed not having enough coins. Kind of unfortunate due to that sand death. Having to collect some coins here at the beginning of Wooded. Something you don't really see at this level very often. Does manage to collect enough, but losing a bit of time as BusterDoggy does nab that nut clip. Of course, all the runners nowadays going for the tree route here. Is quite a bit faster here instead of I can't remember what moon did people go before. Did they get the story moon? I don't even remember what the old route is anymore. But regardless, you grab that that tree moon instead. Saves a bit of time. Oh, but speed bonking a little bit on the out of bounds here. Able to recover though. No soft lock shenanigans for our friend Speed. BusterDoggy swinging back to grab that checkpoint. Does take a little bit of damage, but we have that safety net now. Because we're not grabbing that story moon, you of course cannot die if you don't grab that checkpoint. Because if you die, you know, obviously you don't want to die anyways, right? But if you die and you don't grab that checkpoint, you are heading all the way back to shop. Speed here looks like he missed nut clip. Gonna have to go for a bit of a backup route here. It is the story moon? Okay, cool. Yeah, I didn't want to like confidently say it in case I was wrong, because you know, if you ask it like a question, right, then you have a defense and you'd be like, ah, you know, I forgot. But if you say it confidently, it's like, oh damn. Just never be confident, kids. Always be unconfident. That's my my suggestion. BusterDoggy gonna be climbing Spirit's Tower here as Speed is just now getting through the maze. The lead is growing for BusterDoggy. Even without taking a look at the stat sheet, I can tell that, you know, it is happening. Buster hasn't been invulnerable by any means, taking some bonks here or there, taking some damage from the poison. But he's certainly looking a lot cleaner, you know, not taking death and sand definitely helped out. But, you know, with Speed also not having those coins really hurt him. I'm not sure how much time he lost there, but it seemed like quite a bit as Speed is not able to grab triple jump there for FRS. Have to reline up for the vault setup. That has got to be the most cursed sentence I've read in the chat recently. Dansta, please do not take any life advice from me. That is not something you should do. But we're not going to get too deep into that as I need to keep a little bit of my dignity. Speed here. Oh no, I don't think even the best trick jumper in the world is going to make that gap. Speed with a little bit of a miscalculation there on the trajectory. And this just keeps crumbling apart for Speed, who did not grab the checkpoint like we were talking about earlier. Oh, that is rough. Speed fans in the chat are in shambles. Looking like we're playing on like 1.0, 1.1 days here, doing the climb route. Not really sure what's going on. Having to do the onion boy. Can we get some otter packs? Yeah, let's not. Let's not do that. Oh dear. Resetting up here for the vault setup. We've already got the moon on top there in that nut, so we just skip on over to the tower here. But BusterDoggy's already in cloud. And at this point, if you're a Speed fan in the chat, we better start praying for some sort of lost meltdown here for Buster, because it keeps going from bad to worse here for Speed. Speed is taking bonks, taking deaths. Maybe playing a bit tilted at this point. This is the point of the race where you want to be looking over the chat and seeing the copy passes, cheers, the support from the chat. I'm not sure where it's at. I've been trying to coax it out of the chat for the last 20 minutes. A little bit weird, champ. That's not true, Cat. There's no way that's true. I don't believe you. What we call false otter propaganda. But we are here in Lost now. So BusterDoggy definitely has the skills to make it to this kingdom deathless without triggering Klepto. But if either of those two things happen, it's going to be huge, right? It's going to be a little bit of an opening for speed. Looking good so far, though. Pretty clean movement here all the way up to this moon. Things do get pretty tricky from here on out, though. Got reverse trapedal, you got box triple jump. Excuse me. Cage triple jump. Okay, they're both the same thing. One's a cube, one's a box. I guess they're both technically cube. Cubic? Cubic. Group. But reverse Jaxie coming out, or excuse me, reverse trapedal. Did I say reverse Jaxie the first time? I don't know. It's getting late, okay? It's my excuse. He's playing a little bit risky there on the cloud movement, but does make it over the platform. A little bit of stream freezage. Usually I try to avoid talking about the stream lag too much when I'm on commentary, but after last week, I guess it was 2 weeks ago, when we had that absolute just like nightmarish internet situation, every time the stream lags, my anxiety goes through the roof. I start looking for the red box. Luckily the red box has not shown its face in quite some time. Hopefully that's not a curse. But BusterDoggy, unfortunately for speed, not making much mistakes there in Lost Kingdom like we were trying to fantasize about. So the fanfictions are going to have to move on to another kingdom. And Night Metro doesn't have a ton of issues. Typically most runners at this level don't have a lot of issues anywhere, right? You're kind of like equally possible to meltdown on anything because these runners are so consistent that really anything is possible, right? You can melt down anywhere. There's not like really any that one specific, you know, quote unquote hard spot. Making it over to the sandwich moon there. I think definitely the biggest area of weakness potentially in this kingdom for BusterDoggy would be City Hall, because you go for pretty fast movement in there. If you go for Goomba Heck, it's pretty tricky. You can die, obviously, or you could just fall all the way down from the top. And anytime you're falling down in this City Hall area is not a good time, because these poles, they do not like re-grabbing when you are falling down. If you're falling down, they just will not let you touch them pretty much ever. BusterDoggy has made it to the top. Just has to make it on over. And Speed, on the other hand, is cruising through Lost Kingdom right now. Potentially save a little bit of time on reverse trapedal here. Does not opt to go for it, though. In fact, taking damage from the trapedal, which is a little bit surprising. The other part of Night Metro, of course, that is a potential point of weakness is this Wiggler fight, but in recent years and months, Mecha Wiggler has not been the biggest point of weakness for runners. Even at a much lower level, I feel like 2 cycles are extremely common. The 3 cycle is only happening on very unique situations. Can I do an impression of the Wiggler? Wait, what? How on earth would I impersonate a giant metal caterpillar? I'm sorry. Number one, I usually am not going to do a impression on demand on commentary. Number 2, how? It's really surprising to me whenever like a chatter is like, "Hey, Mr. Commentator or Miss Commentator, please the like Womp King voice, and then people do it, and I'm like, dang. Like, that's dedication. Are you talking about an SM64? Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about, but anyways. Moving on to Day Metro, otherwise known as Light Metro. For those of you who are confused. Gonna be, of course, doing Scoot Clip. Ooh, unable to grab that moon there with the first ground pound. Does get the dram, but a little bit unfortunate there. Those tiny, you know, little mistakes would be an option for Speed to try to catch up, but even just right after that, you know, Speed taking a little bit of time setting up that long jump. Making sure he's not dying. I think it's a good call, but unfortunately against a player like BusterDoggy, right? You can't expect Buster to be making too many mistakes. It's not like you're going up against a runner, you know, with like a 105 or 110 or something where you're like way outclassing him. You just, you know, kind of cruise through, have a chill little stroll. Gotta be on your A game versus a player like Buster, especially if you're behind. But definitely think it's fair to just potentially bank on a mess up, as BusterDoggy is messing up slots here. Does not get the spin throw to grab all the moons here. Does get it the second time. And of course, all the runners here in the league opting to go for the bullet building route. So there's two routes you can basically go for in Day Metro. You can either go for the musicians, or you can go for this room here, which is called the bullet building room. Because there's a lot of bullet builds. Very good name. It's quite a bit harder to get this cycle and save time. It only saves about a second, I believe, or maybe 3 seconds maximum. Very small amount of time save, but you're going for a 58, you're going for a 57, even going for sub-hour. You really need all those optimizations. BusterDoggy almost all the way through the kingdom here. A little bit of a weird dive there. Not quite the inputs we were looking for, but knows how to back it up. Quick jump off the umbrella. Which I must say, if you tried to jump off an umbrella in real life, I guarantee it's not going to react in quite that way, but... You know, this is Mario. I suppose we can excuse it for that. Although we could be like a Twitter user and complain about the fact Coconut Mall does not have elevators, or escalators rather. BusterDoggy clears yet another aptly named room in Metro, the People's Room, because it has lots of people. You know, the Bullet Building, because it has lots of bullet bills. I mean, SMO community is crazy with these names. How do they make them up? Ah, Speed. Taking a fierce bonk there. We'll see if he's able to clear these slots, though. Would net him a tiny bit of time save over Buster, at least. And that's kind of crazy, you know, about bullet building route, right? Is you're trying to save just a couple seconds. And then, if you mess up the slots, you already failed, right? You already failed your mission. You could have just gone and talked to some people and gotten some free moons. Bullet building is actually the name of the room. Okay. Fair enough. What is the People's Room moon called then? Hopefully it's not just called People's Room. I'd be concerned for Nintendo's writers. Yeah, that was a really weird choice. I think so too, Kat. I feel like they probably will not have Mario rolling around in the next Mario game. Maybe they will. Maybe that's here to stay, but it's very strange. Very odd. Does allow for some very interesting movement chains, though, in this game, that's for sure. BusterDoggy has entered into the happiest place on Earth, Shiveria Town, with our friends, the Shiverians. The greatest people in this game. By far. Oh, and BusterDoggy perhaps going for Snow Clip here. Really interested in that wall there. Okay, trying to go for the moon clip, but not quite connecting. Just gonna go ahead and grab the moon. Definitely not worth it at that point to overcommit. BusterDoggy taking a bit of a bonk here in the Blowy Joey room. And one thing that you can say for sure here is that it's nice to see Speed, you know, not completely crumbling under the pressure, right? Because you're going up against a runner with a, you know, minute and a half better PB. You're a bit outclassed, right? You're a bit out of your element. But even though Speed has made some pretty massive mistakes early on, you know, Speed's playing with his life. Speed's playing hard, not making major mistakes. We're not seeing more deaths or any huge falls or gaffes. So that's good to see Speed, you know, keeping himself in this, because at the end of the day, this is a league format, and the points do matter. So if you don't know, basically what happens is the winner gets 60 points regardless of what happens, and then the remaining 30 points are split up between the two racers based on how big of a difference there is between them. So let's say BusterDoggy wins by 5 minutes. BusterDoggy would get all 30 extra points and walk away with a 90-0 victory. Whereas if it was, you know, down to the wire, only wins by about a frame, it would be 60-30, or maybe 61-29, not quite sure how the specifics work. Leave that up to our fantastic stats department, but... does matter. You know, Speed getting a good time here still does matter, regardless of whether he's able to make the matchup to a victory again or not. But both these players coming in with a 1-1 here in the tournament play so far. But a really good, you know, description of this point system and how it does matter how well you do in a race, right? Because both players coming in with 1-1. However, BusterDoggy sitting at 114 and Speed sitting at 63 points. So almost a double lead there for BusterDoggy in terms of the points in the overall standing of the bracket. You can, of course, take a look at the standings yourself. Use !SMO in the chat. See everybody in the league, who they play when. This week is almost over, but we will be back next weekend, and the weekend after, and the weekend after, and the weekend after. Basically, we're here forever. Until we're not. Not a bulletproof snow from BusterDoggy, but a pretty solid one, and Speed is completing his own solid Snow Kingdom here. Doubt we'll see a Snow Jam fail, although it is possible. We have seen it quite a bit in the tournament play. Not so much in the league play, but Certainly in the open tournament, it was a bit of a problem. Speed actually with a 66%, so 2 out of 3 on the Snowdram so far. Didn't miss one. BusterDoggy, perfect so far on Snowdram in the league. Kinda nuts. We've been kind of obsessing over it in the last 6 months or so. Ever since it was, you know, discovered and started to be used in runs, but we'll see if they go for fish dip here. I think both of them will go for it at this point. BusterDoggy does get out of bounds here. Doing the double bonk setup. Oh, but clipping back inbounds. Unfortunate that extra time loss being tacked on top from the setup. Out the payoff at the end. That is a bit rough. So actually at this point, Speed not going for that clip would net him a tiny time save. But obviously if Speed goes for it and does get the time save, would be even huger. Even more bigly, even more hugely. Speed living up to his profile picture there, nabbing a Snowdram quick and easy. Really, really fast fish clip there from Buster. It's crazy how fast these, like, very low sub-hour runners end up getting fish clip. Like, their setups are so crazy. BusterDoggy actually wrapping up Seaside before Speed has even pulled in. Just barely landing in time here, but it's not over yet. And like I said before, the points do matter here. So we'll see what Speed's able to pull out here in Seaside as BusterDoggy pulls off into the next kingdom. Luncheon Kingdom. Everybody's favorite disgusting stew. All of the food here is incredibly unappetizing, but apparently some people would like to eat it. Delicious steaming pot of Pepto-Bismol here. Oh, and Speed going for the Sharane bounce movement in the Gushing Room. Unable to grab it, unfortunately. Gonna have to take the L there, but moving on. Not deterred. Speed, it looked like, was maybe trying to do some sort of setup there. I couldn't quite see through the sea bacon what was going on, but I think we attempted but didn't quite grab it there. No fish dip for our friend Speed either, but making quick work of the kingdom here. A little bit of trouble with the sea bacon area. BusterDoggy, of course, doing the luncheon spiritless route here, so going to be collecting slots. Because skipping over Spirit is just half the battle. It's not even half the battle, I would say. It's more like a fifth of the battle, or an eighth of the battle even. It's a very small part of it, right? Because we have to go through, collect several different moons, and parts of the stage have not generated. So we're going to be having to do some interesting jumps over the lava. Lava bubbles will not be there. Particularly later on where, you know, you normally do the cheese moon. It's a little bit rough, right? Because we've got to do Invisiblock jump, which is not easy. And even this jump right here, a little bit scary. Does make it through okay, though. That's impossible, Thero. Nobody would possibly think that. Good joke, though. Uh-oh, BusterDoggy having a little bit of trouble here with the spiritless portion here. Or rather, I should say the lava bubble-less portion. There is my favorite commentator that never commentates. That's all I have to say. Wannabe speedrunner, commentator, and all-around dad. We'll see what Speed SMO opts to do here. Gonna be just going for Spirit Fight. I think is a fair bet. The fork voices freak me out, I'm not gonna lie. A little bit scary. No, I cannot do an impression of any voice. I'm not capable. As BusterDoggy here is going for that invisible block jump we were talking about, but nabs it first try. Very easy looking. I assure you it is not easy. Into the lava bubble room here for BusterDoggy. I always love this room. This room's really cool. Probably one of my favorite sub areas, honestly. Oh, whoa. Of course, wrapping up the spiritless route here with the timer challenge. BusterDoggy pretty much nailing everything in the spiritless route. Not really getting tripped up anywhere, which is nice to see. Obviously not if you were looking for a Speed SMO victory, as the path to victory is very quickly narrowing here. The door is shutting. We are running out of time. About 15 minutes or so, and BusterDoggy will be closing this one out unless Buster makes some sort of major mistake here in either Bowser's Kingdom or Moon. Those are really the only two areas that we can possibly hope for some sort of catastrophic failure. Of course, we could see some sort of ruined death, but I have only seen that in probably one or two races. I think only one that I can think of, and I think it was partially due to some sort of controller shenanigans. So, probably not best to bank on that. Sonic fan rolling in with the raid of 6 gamers. Thank you so much for the support, dude. Appreciate it. We are actually only 7 followers away now from that 1.7k. So, if anybody pulling through is into Super Mario Odyssey, SM64, any other sort of speed racing, make sure to drop that follow. We are getting ever closer to the fantastic 1.7k. And then I can start teasing the 1.8k and the 1.9k and then the 2k. And maybe we'll do something special for 2k, but I don't know because I don't think that far into the future. It's going well, Sonic fan. Hope everybody is enjoying the league play in the chat. course, it is the last match of today, but we do have some more. Wow, okay, the backwards triple jump from BusterDoggy. But we have more SM64 matches tomorrow, and then next weekend we, of course, have more League play. Should be a lot of fun. A lot of Mario. Trying to mix in some non-Mario stuff here shortly. As Speed is actually taking a bit of a booty burn here, trying to grab the lava bubble. That is something that is not normal. Something that is a bit unfortunate. BusterDoggy here, cleaning up the Ruin fight as Speed is just wrapping up Luncheon Kingdom. Of course, not having to fight the Cookatiel because for some reason that is not required here for this first multi-moon. Simply climbing the mountain and shaking some meat is enough. The conditions to beating Super Mario Odyssey are so strange. Like, you don't actually have to solve any of the problems in any of the kingdoms. You don't really have to do much of anything. You literally just have to power up your ship and get to the end of the game. Oh my god, that was an you guys actually pulled through with the follows there. Holy crap, I just looked back. We are literally one follower away now. That is nuts. That is absolutely insane. Much appreciation to everybody supporting the stream in the chat. Even if you're just here, you know, watching, means a lot. I'm sure everybody working hard to make this happen is smiling in the background. Like all the fallen Jedi Masters at the end of that one Star Wars movie. I can't remember which one it is. BusterDoggy dispatching the ogre here. A little bit of interesting moves there, but just wanted to show off, you know, style a little bit on the ogre man. Yeah, it's episode 3, but I couldn't remember the name of it. Is it Return of the Jedi? There's a New Hope, Return of the Jedi, and Empire Strikes Back. I think it's Empire Strikes Back, right? Is that the third one? I don't remember. I'm terrible with movies and actors. Wait, is it? Wait, no. Are you sure it's not 6? Did they do it in 3 and 6? Or maybe it's like 4 or something. Maybe I need to rewatch the Star Wars trilogies. Either way, I don't think that those facts are super helpful to the SMO race going on. Would be good to know, though. Would be good to clarify that in the chat. Maybe if there's a Star Wars expert. I feel like it was in 6 as well. The numbers are all confusing too, right? Because before the prequels came out, it's like, I don't know. I'm just gonna quit while I'm behind. Fake Star Wars fan. I think saying there's too many moons in this game is definitely a valid argument. Some of the moons just feel like they shouldn't have even bothered. Like they're just like kind of sitting there. There's just like, oh yeah, we put a moon like right here, like under this rock. Or like, if you touch this railing, you get a moon. And it's like, all right, I mean, like, okay. I don't know if that really adds more content, but sure. Yeah, but there's like a limit for sure there where it becomes like a little bit silly, right? Like at some point they just become like as valuable as coins in terms of finding, like, you're like, oh great, another moon, cool. BusterDoggy here. Gonna be doing a pretty standard Harriet fight, no Sir Bomba coming out here. But very quick strats regardless. Speed has joined our friend BusterDoggy here in the Bowser's Kingdom. However, Speed, of course, quite a bit behind now at this point. Buster already threw both the bunnies fight as Speed is just now taking out the ogre. Going to take not only a mech meltdown, but an absolute mech catastrophe from BusterDoggy if Speed is going to come back in this kingdom alone. Got a bit of a moon sync there, so you know that's some value, right? That's some content. How is Speed gonna catch up? Alright, we got the fan fiction going. So, BusterDoggy gonna fall off of mech while it's running around and then get squashed and die. And then BusterDoggy's gonna go to moon, do one wall moon jump or moon skip, and then die. That's my fanfic. Basically, Buster's gonna die. That's the possible scenario here. Or Buster could just play like a mad dog and just get through the whole game. Either would work. We'd actually opting to go for bird full strats there. You don't see that too often at this level. Lots of players implementing birdless, using the cap to sort of bait the Pokio to hit the moon for you without even capturing it. Because capturing anything in this game takes a little bit of time, right? You gotta wait for the animation play, and then you have to do the action with that capture. But being able to do the, you know, bird poke without actually capturing the bird is quite powerful. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't confirmed this yet, but I'm pretty sure that the picture in BusterDoggy's profile picture is actually Buster's doggy. So I'm not sure if Buster is the doggy or if Buster's doggy is playing SMO. Or maybe Buster is the name of the doggy. Actually, I could confirm that Buster is not the name of the doggy because somebody asked that in the commentary booth a while ago, and I think we confirmed that the dog's name is actually something that starts with like a Z or something crazy, so. Or a G? I don't know. It's some strange name. Yes, Zerfield. Probably what it is. Sounds like a real name. Alright, so one more kingdom left. The mech meltdown didn't happen. BusterDoggy, I don't know what's going on. Perhaps not paying attention to the script that the chat and me are writing together, but a little bit strange. Might be wanting a little bit of that $1,000 prize pool, which would be, I guess, acceptable. Yeah, what a strange dude. Worth noting that first place is in 1,000. Maybe top 4. They get the payout. That's what we typically do with these tournaments. If you're ever wondering who's gonna get in the money in a prize pool, unless it's some absolutely absurd prize pool, like we have like $5,000 or $10,000 or something crazy to distribute. Want to make sure that everybody, you know, who takes home some money is going to get a sizable chunk. Okay, BusterDoggy. I thought for a second was about to show off some crazy strat that I've never seen in my life, but just gonna be, you know, boring old one wall moon skip. I mean, come on. Where's the individuality, you know? I want to see triple jump moon skip. Come on. Oh, Speed taking a little bit of a bonk there on the topper hit. I'm not sure how new one wall moon jump, moon cave skip. I'm not really sure the exact cadence of words, but using only one wall on the moon cave skip, I'm not sure how long it's been around. Probably like at least the last like 6 months to a year I've seen it being done in races, so can't be too new, but certainly hasn't been around a long time. At least not done in runs for a long time. There's a lot of times in speedrunning where, you know, tricks get found or strats get found and they don't quite get used until, you know, maybe years later even. So it could be one of those cases, right, where somebody figured it out like, you know, years ago, but only now starting to get used. Hard to say. Oh no, BusterDoggy taking damage on the intentional damage cycle. Could this be the end for BusterDoggy? Probably not, because that was intentional and this fight is over. Which means that we only have the escape sequence separating BusterDoggy with a W here today. Those points are still on the line for Speed. He can still scrape together a few if he makes it through Moon Cave or Moon Kingdom without much of a scratch. If you think Buster is for sure going to win this race, you have not watched many SMO races in the last year, because I can think of several instances where a player was this far ahead into pillars and then just absolutely fell apart and crumbled, which is like, it's rare for sure, but it does happen and it is tragic. It's both tragic and extremely hype, because, you know, like, people are checking out. People are like, ah, whatever. It's like when like a sports game is all over and people start leaving the stadium, right? People start closing the stream, or like, oh, whatever, I don't care, this is over. And then all of a sudden someone dies on 2D skip 3 times, or gets like invisi-walled on the final like pillar or something like that. Which, at that point, you're not sure whether to laugh or cry, but please, gamers, get your cat jams out in the chat. I don't know where the cat jams have been for the last couple weeks, but they have been absent. Today has been pretty good for the cat jams, I gotta say, but we gotta show some support for our runners here. It is the anime outro sequence. It's time to jam. BusterDoggy playing a little bit dangerous here in the last pillar, but will be crumbling this cube away to a victory here. Another sub-hour in the loop for BusterDoggy. Bop and Speed's PB even by about 30 seconds, which is remarkable in a race scenario. Very fantastic finish here for BusterDoggy. I'm going to be up to speed here to see if we can salvage any amount of points here. Of course, if there is more than a 5-minute gap in between the two racers, BusterDoggy will get all 90 of the points awarded in this match. But also worth remembering that this is not the end for Speed. Speed has about, what, 7 or 8 weeks at least left of play, and then the top 8 move on into the playoffs, so there's a lot of SMO to be played. And I'm excited for it, honestly. I think there's no world, right, where Speed finishes out this tournament and we don't see a sub-hour from him. Either in his personal time or in the tournament itself. And, you know, I'm a little bit biased, right, because I'm the tournament organizer, I'm the commentator. I want to see some hype races. I want to see Speed get the PB in a race again, but... Dude, I don't know. I got teased the last one, right? So I've been watching Speed, like, ever since Speed joined the first tournament I ever hosted. And so I've kind of seen the Speed progression, right? I can't remember what Speed's PB was in the first Cool Cat Gang SMO tournament. But it was the first tournament we basically ever ran, and so it's been nice to watch Speed progress, right? Seeing a sub-hour at a tournament would be very powerful, but either way, hoping it happens for Speed. It's very, very close. Definitely deserves it. Grinds a lot, enters so many tournaments. If you don't already follow both of these racers, by the way, drop that ! Racers command in the chat room. Please follow them both. Very, very fierce competitors. Not only Speed, but also BusterDoggy, obviously. You can't bust out 59 in a race without being a serious Mario gamer. And both these dudes deliver, that's for sure. No honorary 2DSS here for our friend Speed, trying to scrape together those points. We are looking at about, what, I don't know how to do math. 3 minute or so, 4 minute or so gap. So definitely some points are still salvageable. Very little at this point. Every point does count in the end. We're coming up on the cat jam section once again. Get your jams down in the chat. I don't even care if they're cat jams, as long as they're not Pepe Ds. Pepe Ds are exclusively banned here at Cool Cat Gang. That's why we don't have them in the BTTV menu. They are illegal. I'm seeing some lawbreakers in the chat. Not sure how to feel about it. I think Emrys gets a pass just because Emrys put in the cat jams for the first sequence. I guess I'll let it go. I don't know how he hacked in the Pepe D there, or the Peped, whatever it's called. Finishing things off here with a 103.20 or so. Very beautiful stuff from Speed. Able to nab a little bit of points here at the end. Fantastic stuff. But as we said before, this is not the end for either of these two runners. Have a long road ahead of them. Speed moving down to 1 and 2 overall in the winnings. Buster up to 2 and 1. But of course the points matter more than anything, which I'm not quite sure. Maybe we'll get a confirmation from one of the stats team in the chat room. Maybe we'll have to update that later, but I think under 10 points going to Speed here. It's not a huge amount, but definitely is something. You don't want to walk away empty-handed, right? If you walk away from race with 0 points, that's kind of a feels sad, man. But we'll see both these players coming back next week. Speed going to be going up against Eat. And let's see, who is... BusterDoggy is going up against Shemcat. So both these players having some pretty fierce competitors. I mean, you go up against anybody in the league, it's going to be a tough match. BusterDoggy probably going to be pretty comfortable with his matchup, but Speed going to be going up against Eek, who is a very, very solid competitor. Auto-qualifying for the league. Didn't even have to play in the open. Just automatically popped on in. Shemcat's pretty sick too. Very good to see some quote-unquote underdogs in the tournament. See if either player wants to pop in for an interview here. Looks like we've got BusterDoggy. Buster, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty decent about that run. Like, my early game was actually not too bad for me, like for a race, and my late game was way worse, which surprised me because I usually depend on my late games to carry for like whether I'm doing races or PB attempts. So that kind of surprised me. It was mainly just my late game that I lost the most overall.
Yeah, well, I mean, pulling up to play for sure. I mean, now at another sub hour, gotta feel good to grab those sub hours in tournament play. But Speed in the booth as well. Speed, how are you feeling after that one? Had some rocky moments at the start, but kind of cleaned it up towards the end. What are your thoughts overall?
Well, yeah, what happened on reverse jack, so practice can't fix that. If it happens, it happens. And I just, like, really got mad and lost multiple minutes in wood. So I just turned on a YouTube video and just sort of relaxed the rest of the run.
Yeah, that's a good strat. I mean, playing mad never turns out well, and you know, using that, you know, sort of just cool down and play through it strat. I mean, you definitely snagged a couple points here, which is, you know, obviously the win would have been huge, but you'd had a PB by over a minute, or over 30 seconds, excuse me. So at the end of the day, just salvaging some points, I think definitely is the play, and good to see you not getting, you know, too tilted from the race. That's never a good time.
Yeah, exactly.
Epic.
So cool.
Super Mario Odyssey. It is that time of the night where, yeah, I have ready to get some rest. I'm not gonna lie. It's good to watch. This is a hype race. You know, if there's any race I'm gonna be stuck commentating, you know, I'm always trying not to restream and commentate at the same time, but always good to have a strong couple of competitors to commentate when I do have to commentate. So I appreciate you guys showing up, putting on a good show. And yeah, we're gonna find somebody to raid here. I'm actually kind of behind on my duties.
Appreciate you commentating and restreaming.
Yeah, thank you for commentating.
No problem. Silent races are extremely boring, I gotta say. I've watched a couple before. I think we're gonna raid Fan Delayron because dude is a gamer. I'm not really sure what's going on in the stream, but we're gonna raid them anyways. But yeah, everybody, thank you for showing up and supporting the stream. If you haven't already, please follow. We have actually cleared the 1.7k boundary, so that is very epic and cool. Thank you for all the support. We will be back next weekend with more SMO, and we'll be back tomorrow at maybe noon with SM64. It might not be until 1:30 because some racers are hard to contact for scheduling, but we will see what happens. Either way, keep an eye on the Discord, keep an eye on the Twitter, and we will be back tomorrow. We'll see you then.